Please rise.
Oh, the pomp and circumstance. It's Encaenia season at King's, more commonly known at most universities as graduation or convocation.
Domina Cancelaria, praesento vobis cine Bergam Quirens, ut admitator ad gradum doctoris in iure civili honoris causa.
And oh, the traditions. Not surprising, since the University of King's College was the first established university in English Canada back in 1789. But what might surprise you? Some of those old traditions are actually not that old, and Encaenia has had some major adaptations to keep it relevant in the midst of all of those long venerated rituals and customs.
Medawaloktiok and Weligiskok. Today is a beautiful day, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the unceded territory of the Ulnu.
Encaenia is a formal event. We're all here in our finery, and you all look beautiful, by the way. It is a beautiful ceremony, and the beauty comes from the formality as well as the joy the formality expresses.
To all of the grads who aren't quite sure what's next, know that this is normal in an era so complex. And to our families and the faculty, when we return these gowns, just give us time to find our way. We will not let you down.
Welcome back to This is King's, the podcast that explores all that makes the small East Coast University of King's College in Halifax, Nova Scotia wonderful, sometimes a little weird, always unique. I'm Pauline Dakin. I teach in the School of Journalism, Writing, and Publishing here at King's. There is a buzz behind the scenes on campus these days. Preparations are underway for the 234th Encaenia. And the woman at the center of all that planning is Pam Hazel. She's the University Manager of Governance and University Ceremonies. Welcome to This is King's, Pam.
Hi, Pauline.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So let's start with this word Encaenia. Why do we call our graduation Encaenia?
Well, it stems back to the Oxford roots and the Latin language, and it means beginning or commencement. And there are other universities who use that term, but we continue to use it as well and have done so since the beginning.
So for students, it probably feels like an ending,
yes,
as well as a beginning, right? Launching
Indeed.
into the world.
Yes.
Yeah. What are some of the oldest parts of the ceremony that we still use?
Well, there are a couple. One is the procession. From the beginning, there has been a procession of the graduating students and everyone else participating in the ceremony from the one side of the campus to the other, to the ceremony. And we have continued with that in spite of the numerous changes in venues over the past 200-odd years. And as well, there is the Latin that we use in the ceremony, and that has been since the beginning of the university as well. And although we have introduced English for the majority of the ceremony now, but we continue with the Latin for the conferring of the degrees for the undergrad journalism students and for the honorary degree recipients.
Okay, so we do have this sense very much during the ceremony of, paying attention to tradition and the history of it. But there are some very new things. What are the ways in which it's all been adapted to be more contemporary?
Well, there are a number of areas, and we're constantly trying to make the ceremony more inclusive and more welcoming. We have introduced kente sashes for the students of Black Nova Scotian or Black Canadian students or students of African descent. We also now have Indigenous sashes for Indigenous students, and we're also adapting those sashes to be inclusive for Inuit students. And those students also receive medicine pouches when they walk across the stage, if they wish to receive those. We have American Sign Language interpreters at the ceremonies now. So for anyone who would benefit from that, we live stream the ceremony. That's all new.
You can watch from anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. Yeah, we do a land acknowledgement in the ceremony. So there's constant new traditions being introduced. And because, we try to make the ceremony as inclusive as possible.
Is there anything new for this particular year?
We've evolved with the Indigenous sashes, so that is new this year, that they're going to be modified so that they are inclusive of the Inuit culture.
Do those replace the usual stoles, or they're in addition?
They are in addition.
Okay. That'll look lovely.
Yes.
Yeah. I know, Pam, from the emails that I get copied on, that there are a lot of moving parts to organizing and syncing all of this. There are multiple dinners and receptions and invitations and tickets go out, and there's the baccalaureate service, and on and on and on. We celebrate big.
We do.
What's it like being in charge of all of this?
Well, it's a privilege. It truly is a privilege. I think it's the most joyous week that we celebrate here at King's, and we do enjoy our celebrations. But this sort of culminates for us as faculty and staff, the year's work, but for the students, their 4 or 5 or however many years' work, and it's just a celebration of that. And we pull together every department on this campus to make that week work, and it's just a joy.
So who are the people that are involved in this besides you?
On the staff side, it's almost the entire complement of staff on a campus. There aren't very many who don't have, a part to play, whether it's small or whether it's a large part. And one of the departments that, play a huge hand for me in the background is our facilities department. They do, they get places ready, they set up for various events, but, and we also have one incredibly talented member of our facilities crew, Rodney Parsons, who is such a gifted carpenter, and he has designed and constructed some beautiful pieces of furniture that we use every year at Encaenia. The kneeler, the mace holder, and it's those kinds of contributions that become traditions, and it's folks behind the scenes that add those special touches to the ceremony.
New traditions, yeah.
New traditions.
Okay, Pam, you can tell me.
Yes, okay, Holly.
Are there stories that come to mind about when something in the ceremony did not go as planned?
Well, there's always something that doesn't go quite as planned. And we try to plan for all of the hiccups that we can anticipate, but they're the unanticipated hiccups that you sort of have to, pivot quickly. There was one hiccup one year that even I wasn't aware of until after the fact. But, and speaking of traditions, we have a mace that gets carried in the ceremony. And this particular year, when the mace was set down in what we called the mace holders, it wasn't set quite right. And as the people passed by the mace started to wobble a bit. And it started to tumble off the mace holder. But that particular year, we were conferring a degree on the Governor General of Canada, who noticed the mace starting to take a little tumble, and he leapt forward and grabbed it, and he cradled it appropriately. And the ceremony continued with no one aware of what disaster.
He saved the day.
He saved the day.
It could have been like 100 years of bad luck if the mace hits the ground.
Maybe.
Okay, since you told me yours, I'll tell you mine.
Okay.
I have been a graduate marshal for a number of years, and one year I led the class in and seated them wrong, so that there was a risk of everybody being out of order with the parchments that were all in place. So there was some quiet panic, but we figured it out.
Yeah, we always figured it out, Pauline. And what I always say to the team as we're heading into the day, something's going to go wrong, but for 95% of the people there, they've never been there before or seen it, and they don't know that that's not the right way. So
Just fake it till you make it.
fake it till you make it.
What kind of feedback do you get, Pam? You talk about this big, it's complicated, it's joyous, but what kind of feedback do you hear about the whole ceremony from people at King's? Or families or students?
Yeah, it's usually the parents and the students that we get feedback from, and they talk about what a wonderful week of events it was, that they are always surprised at how many events we have to celebrate the graduates, and how happy and joyous they are. We do the president's dinner the eve before, and then the day of, there's the baccalaureate service and the procession down, and the actual event, the reception following. And then on Friday morning, there's the coffee with the president, where they get to, casually meet and chat with the president's staff, fellow graduates, and their families and staff. Mm-hmm. And they just are surprised at how many events there are, how many, the ceremony itself, the various components that they haven't seen at other graduation ceremonies they might have been at, and just how happy they are with all of the celebrations.
It's such an accomplishment, to get through a degree and have that moment. Yeah, often some tears.
Yes, lots of smiles.
Yeah.
And so proud.
Yes.
They're just so proud.
So it's a multi-day affair.
Yes.
Thursday, Friday.
Wednesday,
Thursday, Friday. What do you do on the Saturday?
What do I do on the Saturday? Usually I sort of just sit, and take it all in. And because up until that point, for weeks, there are multiple lists going through my mind about, okay, and I need to do this and I need to do that. And no, don't forget about that. And then on Saturday, there are no lists. Mm-hmm. It's all done.
Until next year.
Yeah, until next year.
Well, I wish you a happy Encaenia.
Thank you.
And a speedy recovery.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Pam.
Thanks, Pauline.
Pam Hazel is the Manager of Governance and University Ceremonies at the University of King's College. Thanks for listening. If you are a King's alum or student or just interested in campus life, follow us and give us a like. We drop a new episode every month. I'm Pauline Dakin. Thanks to my co-producer and technician, Mark Pinio. And thanks to you for listening. I'm going to leave you with a barbershop tribute to the King's class of 2021. The song is called Graduation Day. The original melody is They Can't Take That Away From Me by George Gershwin. Now, this special musical arrangement and words are by Paul Halley. Singers are Shaylin Burkhart, Nick Halley, Vanessa Halley, and Janelle Lusick. The music video with song lyrics may be found on YouTube on the King's Chapel Choir channel. So enjoy, and congratulations to all the graduands out there.
Today you graduate, and now you're finally free. Now you're free. It's been a pretty long way, quite the way. On this day you'll get your degree. You had a difficult time, very difficult time. I think you probably agree. You must agree. And as you're reaching your prime, reach your prime. On that day, now you're